Aquarius, how's it going? It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm doing a 2019 overview reading. And I haven't said this to any other sign, but if you guys are interested, I would love to do a 2019 overview reading specific to you. So you can follow the link down below to my services page of my website. So what I'm doing is, instead of doing like pulling a card for each month, I'm going to look at love, career, and spiritual messages. But I'm leaving it open. I had one person, I think it was Cancer, that almost the whole reading turned into a love reading. I'm just gonna kind of let it flow, which is a theme. Like organic has been a real theme coming up for this year. Just nurturing things and allowing things to come and to be more natural and earth-based and sustainable. And sure, that can mean buying organic vegetables and such, but it can just be more like allowing your true nature and authenticity to come out and not worrying so much about societal norms and things like that. And that takes this, and the way it's been coming out in relationships is letting go. Like if you had a type, or you're very concerned, like this is the way I see it coming out. Like you've been crushing on someone, and what if all of a sudden you guys, I don't know, maybe someone was married and you're not, or whatever, the timing, you've been crushing over something, or you just thought you were friend zoned or whatever, and all of a sudden you find out that that person is interested and available in you too. Have you ever had it where all of a sudden you're like, well, are they cute? Well, like all of a sudden all these doubts flood you now that it's real, or could be real, and you become like an 8th grader, and you're like, well, will other people think they're cute? Will other people think they're nice? And you have all these self-doubts based on pretty much literally your ego and fear-based and superficial things. And I feel like this year is a year where you're like, I want substance. I want true compatibility. And it's what's so interesting, and this is what I get hung up on online dating about, is that first of all, people lie, I've come to realize. I haven't actually done online dating, but my friend has, which it's been kind of hilarious, but it can also be super frustrating. But I know tons of people who have found their love of their life on online dating. So happily ever after, married, and whatever, you know, they've wished for, they've found someone. But it can be very superficial and even misleading. And so, like, say you're at an event and you happen to sit next to someone. This person may, like, if you just saw a picture of them, you may, I don't know, swipe the other way, just like, nah, not my type. But if you happen to meet them sitting next to them at an event, whatever, and you get to talk to them, this person that maybe on first sight wasn't your type may become incredibly attractive because of the way you guys connect, and vice versa. Like, oh, there's this person at work who on first sight seems very attractive, and now that I've gotten to know him, I can't stand him. Like, it's just, oh my God. Yeah, don't get me started. It's just interesting because he's like not attractive to me because of his personality, his arrogance, and it's just like, whoa, like, but I may have swiped whatever freaking way you're supposed to swipe if you like someone, because it was all based on this one singular snapshot in time. So the point I'm trying to make is that you're going to realize that true happiness lies in someone that's sustainable and can go the long distance and you connect with on a deeper level, not someone that at first glance whether you think they're hot or not, because there's so much more that goes into what makes someone attractive. Whew, that was 5 minutes to get to that one point. Sorry about that. The 10 of Cups, this is a happily ever after. What's your happily ever after? I think sometimes we think we don't have our happily ever after because we have this stupid fairy tale stories we've been told that we're going to meet the perfect person and they're going to complete us, and what's that, Jerry Maguire, you complete me or whatever. It's like, no, you should really pretty much be complete on your own, and if someone comes along and they add to your life, but you can't put like, this person's going to make me happy, this person, if I could only have the right relationship, is going to make me happy. So these are all the themes, like, you're going to realize it's not the other person. You have to be happy and stand alone first. The other person, it's about substance, not looks. And it's about emotional maturity and emotional intelligence and how you treat one another and how considerate you are with one another. Which, like, you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's so funny how I was when I was younger, what I thought was important compared to what I value now and what I now am looking for in a relationship. Like, and this King of Cups keeps coming up too, and he's such a good point, because this king, when he's mature and he's in his upright, he's emotionally intelligent, like we said. He can communicate his emotions effectively, but he's not ruled by his emotion. Now, he in his reverse state would be emotionally manipulative, or a drama queen, angry, fly off the handle, jealous, all those really fun things. But in his upright, he's like, I just wanted to talk about this. This sort of triggered me or upset me, and I can see, and just have a conversation about something, to just so you can see where each other's coming from, instead of filling in the backstory with your past experiences, really trying to understand where the other person's coming from and being able to work through things together, and even bring you to constantly having a deeper level of understanding of love and appreciation. So I could see some of you in a relationship going to therapy and really, really growing the relationship, where maybe you are on the brink of breaking up. You're actually able to repair it, and you're able to be yourself and be your own individual person in the relationship, and not somehow detracting from the other person. Like, you're both allowed to stand separately, but be together. For those of you who are single, let me look at the bottom of the deck, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so there is a control element here, of that art of having boundaries and self-respect, but not having such strong boundaries that you don't let anyone in, or having too free boundaries that people just roll over you, type of thing. And so finding that balance. What is your happily ever after? That's something you're going to explore this year. Do you really need to get married? I have a friend that she's been with her significant other, oh my God, for over 20 years it must be at this point. Yeah. And they never got married. She thought it was what she wanted, and they even broke up because he's like, I can't give that to you. I don't want to get married. It was just something within him. And they broke up, and then they realized, this is stupid. She's like, I want to be with him. Like, that being married, she realized, wasn't a deal breaker for her. And they are so happy. They are going the distance. They have a beautiful relationship. But then they decide not to have kids. And the amount of crap she gets from other people. Oh, you're not married and you don't have kids, and then I'm single. Why? I can't believe how long you've been single. So it's like kind of like you make the decision about what is your happily ever after and what works for you. And you have to be able to, to hell with whatever, other people think. And it's your life and your relationship. And having the strength, though, to not conform if it's not what's right for you. This Ten of Swords, it's like you are shedding a lot of baggage, of old baggage. Like you're really renewing how you are in your current relationship or how you're going to be moving forward. Growing up, meeting relationships again with that emotional maturity, and letting go of resentment, not bringing in old stories into the new story and putting expectations on people and allowing people to be themselves and for you to be themselves, and like this level of communication. And what that brings in is this Two of Cups. It's so beautiful. Like you do bring, once you realize what is truly important and what your happily ever after is, maybe you realize maybe your happily ever after when you were younger was meeting a professional with a good job and a big house and a fancy car and all this stuff. And now you're like, I just want someone, we just want a simple house near walking trails because we like to walk together, or a small flat that we can walk to restaurants and live music because that's what we like to do together. And money to travel. And I don't need the big shiny house, and I don't need the person with the fancy job. I want the person that's calm and not stressed out and does what they love to do. You know what I mean? And once you've realized that, you find, you find that perfect person once you're actually looking for the right things. Okay, let's look at career. I feel like for some of you, relationships had been exhausting in the past, and you have like this negative, well, I feel like I'm talking to myself, this a negative association, and it's recognizing that and letting go of that, and just taking a much more sort of Zen approach. Now, there are some things in relationships, maybe you're in a relationship and you're not happy, you cannot Zen your way through an abusive relationship or a truly dysfunctional person with serious behavior problems. There are some things you can't Zen your way through. But while you're dating and out there meeting people, just being open to meeting people, letting people come and go, and knowing that when something is right, it will click, and keeping things in perspective. Career. Online businesses are big this year. You have the denial card. What are you in denial about at work? Do you really hate your career, but you are afraid to leave it because it's, what you've been doing and what you know, and it's familiar? It's, valid. You're afraid to leave a steady paycheck, don't get me wrong. But I see you putting your resume out there, networking, again, doing something, an online business. I think with the Lover's card, you could find love through work. So that doesn't mean necessarily you fall in love with someone that works where you work, but it could be, wow, we got the Ten of Cups. So maybe you do fall in love with someone from work. It could be someone that you meet on the job. So someone that, like my friend, fell in love with and married the UPS guy that used to do the deliveries at the place she worked all the time. So it could be someone that you have to interact with because of your job, whether they're a client or, like I said, like someone that comes in from the outside. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It could be like it could be a coworker and you're both like, let's start our own consulting business. Let's start our own thing. We can do this without this. You both feel the same way about how the place is run. And you're like, hey, why don't we branch out together or do something together? Or you have an idea for an online business or something like that. So don't let your fear or your doubt that you can do it, like if other people have done it, you can do it. So try not to let your fear get in the way of making changes, applying for new jobs, really making your career work for you. How do I want to say it? Making your career something that doesn't drain you, something that you'd want to do anyway. God, I feel like some of you may leave your job and like take a lot of the clients. Like, I'm not sure if that's, hopefully that's legal, but I feel like the place has just gotten really kind of crazy and dysfunctional, and maybe you and a couple other employees are just like, we are out of here. We're what's actually keeping this place going, and we're the one with all the relationships with the clients, and we're just going to leave and start our own business. And most of the clients are going to follow you. Just be careful legally how you go about doing that you are able to do that, or you do it the right way. Yeah, some of you are going to find out about a hidden affair at work, not necessarily meaning you're involved. Maybe like the boss was really favored. I do see like a power dynamic, really favored a coworker that just did like a crappy job. And then you find out that's because they're having an affair. Well, I don't usually get stuff like that. But then you guys are like, screw this, is ridiculous. And you're like out of there. Or maybe they come in and get fired. I don't know. But there's going to be something like that. But I think you have the star card. This is like your dream. Oh no, it's the moon card. Interesting. What am I saying? The moon card. This is Cancer. What am I getting from the moon? I thought it was the star card. So I think also you may find love at work, and that there are, we have the Lovers here, that there were emotions going on under the surface that you were afraid to say something, but you do end up together. Like, maybe you were keeping it hidden, and you guys are just like, you know what, we're together, and you either just come out, or you're like, you just decide to both sort of leave and move somewhere else, and because your happiness together is more important than the job, which is, it's cool, it's fine. So, but it's going to be a little bit like soap opera-y at work, I think, this year, because of relationships and those types of things going on. All right, let's get to your overall spiritual guidance. What sort of spiritual milestones, wisdom might be learned this year? Okay. Queen of Swords. To articulate your feelings, your thoughts effectively, to make decisions for yourself and not for other people. Maybe you've tended to really care about, again, what society thinks, what other people think, whether it's, is my boyfriend or girlfriend cute enough? Do I have a nice enough job, a fancy enough house, whatever? You're going to realize that the decisions you make for your life you have to deal with the consequences. You have to live those decisions, and you're going to stop making them for other people and make the best decision for yourself, which is reaching a level of maturity. A lot of people will, like to give you advice and tell you what to do, but in the end, especially I feel like the people that give you like are the strongest advice and are so like up in your business, if something they like really pressured you or like tried to force you to do, or just like you should do this, or on about, and if it doesn't work out, those are always the first people to be like, hey, you didn't have to do it. It's your choice. They're the first people to like walk away. So don't think that those type of people are really going to be there to support you. They just need to mind their own business. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to realize like, I need to be mature. And even if it pisses off my family or whatever, this is the best decision for me at this time that I can make. And being able to communicate that and not just be like, thank you for your input. This is the way I'm going, and you can just leave it at that. There's definitely new love coming in. And that is going to be the wisdom, because it's about adjusting the qualities that are important to you this year, and becoming a better communicator if you are in a relationship, allowing the other person, not trying to change, not going into relationships or trying to change people in your own relationships, and being able to talk about things and understand each other. And so if you are in a relationship, it becomes deeper and more solid and grounded and stronger, instead of not talking and building up resentment and becoming further apart. So thank you so much. Who was I reading for? Aquarius. I hope you have a fantastic year. Take care. See you at the next video.